Influencers tried to pressure me into paying $115. I refused. The smell of burnt coffee beans and diesel exhaust filled my car as I inched forward in the Starbucks drive-thru, my 2012 Honda Civic rattling with the impatience of a dying engine. It was 8 a.m. on a Wednesday. All I wanted was a black coffee. No syrup, no foam, no Venti nonsense. Just $5 of caffeine to jumpstart my brain before I had to deal with 8 hours of spreadsheets. Ahead of me was a glistening white Range Rover, the kind that costs more than my annual salary. The driver, a woman with oversized sunglasses and a blowout that defied gravity, was leaning out the window, handing a credit card to the barista. She was taking a long time. Too long. I tapped my fingers on the steering wheel. Tap, tap, tap. Finally, the Rover pulled forward. It didn't leave though. It pulled into a parking spot just past the drive-thru window, angling itself so the driver had a clear view of the pickup area. Weird. I pulled up to the window. The barista, a young guy named Kevin with a nose ring and a look of permanent exhaustion, leaned out. He was smiling. It was a forced, customer service smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Good morning," Kevin chirped. "You're not going to believe this. Your order has been paid for." I blinked. "It has?" "Yes. The lady ahead of you wanted to start a pay-it-forward chain. Isn't that sweet?" I looked at the Range Rover. The woman was watching me. She was holding her phone up, recording. "Sweet," I muttered. "Well, thanks." I reached for my coffee. Kevin pulled it back slightly. "So, would you like to keep the chain going?" "The trap. The social contract trap." "The order behind you," Kevin said, gesturing to the massive conversion van looming in my rearview mirror. "Their total is, let me check." He tapped the screen. $115. My jaw dropped. $115? "Yeah," Kevin laughed nervously. "Big order. 10 frappuccinos. A bunch of sandwiches. But hey, it's good karma, right?" I looked in my mirror. The van behind me was packed. I could see at least 6 teenagers inside. The driver, a kid who looked maybe 17, was holding a DSLR camera pointed right at my car. The passenger was holding a phone, also recording. They were filming. I looked back at the Range Rover. The woman was filming. I looked at the van. The kids were filming. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't random kindness. It was a setup. The woman in the Rover pays $5 for my coffee. She guilts me into paying $115 for the van. The van gets a free feast. They film my reaction, either the generous hero or the cheap jerk, and post it on TikTok as a social experiment. I felt the heat rising in my neck, a prickly, suffocating sensation that started at my collarbone and crawled up behind my ears. They were using me. They were banking on my social anxiety to fund their content. $115, I repeated. "It's a lot," Kevin admitted, his smile faltering. "You don't have to." No, I said, a slow, cold smile spreading across my face. "I want to. It's a beautiful thing, paying it forward." Kevin brightened. "Really? That's amazing. You're awesome, man. Put it on this," I said. I reached into my wallet. I pulled out a Starbucks gift card. It was an old one. I knew exactly how much was on it because I had checked the balance yesterday before deciding to pay cash instead. 75 cents. "Here," I handed it to him. "But listen, Kevin, I need a favor." "Anything." Kevin beamed, taking the card. "I need a receipt," I said, leaning out the window. "For the donation. For tax purposes. Can you print me a receipt showing I paid the full $115? Just so I can file it?" Sure," Kevin said, turning to the register. "I can print a receipt once the transaction clears." "Great. Go ahead and run it." I watched him swipe the card. What happens next isn't just a declined transaction. It is the deliberate dismantling of a meticulously planned viral moment. Kevin thinks he's part of a heartwarming story. The kids in the van think they're about to get a free banquet. They have no idea that I am about to exploit the one thing they didn't account for. By the time Kevin realizes that card is emptier than my patience, the sequence of events I've triggered will leave him holding the bag, literally, and me driving away with the only thing I actually paid for. But the real twist isn't the money. It's what I do with the cash I saved that's going to turn this from a petty refusal into a legendary act of defiance. For full version, follow on screen instructions.